Now we have Dieppe and how it was that that infamous crime that Mountbatten committed, he tried to get away from. He even, I believe it was 12 series of history about himself. In one of the programs he tried to say that he did it and that we learned from it for the invasion of Dunkirk, D-Day. But he never explained to anybody ever why he undertook the mission. He tried his skill afterwards to try and cover up what he did, and that was one of the explanations, that it was a lesson to be learnt. He didn't give a damn. They don't give a damn. He even sank another ship of his, the Jardine, who was hit by a torpedo. He was an absolute pigging clown. His chauffeur said about him that you could tell when he left Broadlands for London. Broadlands is home in Hampshire, just out of Southampton. In actual fact, it's in Romsey, which you've got Southampton, and then you've got Romsey. You could always tell when he left for London because of the skid marks on the road. And he said that if destroyers could leave skid marks on the oceans, that Mountbatten would have disfigured the North Sea and the Mediterranean in his wake. And what is more, whenever he was sailing, which comes back to the driving of the vehicle, he would sail like a maniac, absolute maniac. That's why he kept hitting stuff. And he'd always, well, generally end up in the wrong place at the wrong time, or even the wrong place completely. He had no sense of navigation. He was useless. Utterly bigging useless. But of course, because he's Lord Mountbatten, you see, the establishment just honours him, gets away with it. They don't care about men and sailors and troops and anybody. You know, it's all the establishment. What? Here he is. Give Louis this. Oh, except we don't give him the most expensive destroyers, because that's just a bit going too far. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, he were he were a criminal career, basically. And there was an awful lot more as well to be said about him. Okay? Not only Dieppe, but Saint-Lier. That was soldiers going to the death. And some have tried to uphold Saint-Lazare, that campaign, to smash the gates, the pens, basically, the gates of the pens of the U-boats, German U-boats, so as to be unable for the boats to come out. And of course they packed that ship full of explosives, and very few people actually got back alive. It was absolutely suicidal. Some have said, well, it was done and it was achieved its end, that it postponed the ships coming out and all this business, but it's all propaganda. There's an awful lot of lives lost there, around about 1,500. They'd sail up pretending to be German boats, right past German navigation, all the pillar boxes and everything else. And of course, trying to get back, they couldn't. And they were all basically wooden boats. That was an awful thing, and he knew Mountbatten knew that was also a suicide mission. He couldn't do anything right. Not a pigging thing. No wonder he's claimed to be absolutely mad. Totally, absolutely mad. Now, we know that he took over after the war. The Viceroy, the last Viceroy of India, appointed to it by the Labour government. Now, here again, he shows his incompetence, utter incompetence, and the callousness of which he regards the lives of others as nothing. Simply nothing. You see, he was called in to go to be the last Viceroy of India to settle the Pakistan-India separation. And he'd been given 18 months to undertake the separation of the two countries so he could have Pakistan as Islam, Muslim, and the Sikhs in India. He reduced it to 5 months and then even less. All the top brass, all the planners, everybody that knew anything about the country had settled upon 18 months. And to do it at separate periods in time. Not on the same day or anything like that. But Mountbatten comes along, I'm in charge here, blah, blah, blah. And of course, he, as we say, reduced it to 5 months and then slightly less after. And then what happened afterwards? Apart from the fact that he was friends with Nehru, the Sikh. Of course, I forget the man's name now. Jahu, can't remember his name, of the Muslims. He sided with the Indians, Nehru, and there was some talk about his wife having an affair with Nehru because she was writing to him 2 or 3 times a day and always wanted to be with him when she could. But who knows? Who knows? So he was biased. Mountbatten was biased. Okay? And all the rest we know that as the thing was put in place, there was over 1 million persons lost their lives. Because this buffoon had caused so much pigging trouble, there was civil war going to erupt anyhow. He was there to stop that and to give an unbiased separation, but he pigging didn't. And of course there was other factors that were brought in that they said, well, he was going to be not the best man for this, so they got another party in, and then he influenced, now we know, that party to favour the Indians, and it was a right cock-up. And when he left, of course, as we say, over 1 million persons actually died. This was supposed to be a man who was supposed to have high education. He was film star material. They always said he was. That he looked the part of a film star. And this is what enamoured him to a lot of people. Because he looked the business. But he was an absolute clown behind it all. And he absolutely loved himself to death. This is why you've got all these here, all this paraphernalia on his chest. He never earned one of them. It was all given to him. Given to sink a pigging ship that he was on. He was given a medal for bravery. This is how it was. And I mean, Pathé Gazette and the rest would have him like on the Kelly, saying, oh, how he bravely stood on the Kelly and brought it home, even though it was half over, having been torpedoed by his stupidity. So he got a medal for it. He got a medal for everything. And he got an honour for everything. Oh, we'll give you this honour. Here. And they go, oh, thank you very much. Oh, hey, got another honour here. And I'll post it up and then, oh yeah. And he earned none of it. It was a complete and off the head basket case. It really was. I mean, how you get honours for being stupid, well, it's carried on, isn't it? You can sit at the head of a bank, bankrupt it, and get a bonus of so many millions. You can lose the profits of a bank and get so many millions. You can lose the profits of a company, a well-to-do company, say like BT or Network Rail, and you get a bonus. You get a bonus if you lose money from the water board or the electricity company. You get a bonus. Councillors, when they cock up and get into debt, they get a bonus. A bonus for cocking up, and this is what Mountbatten was doing. So all this nonsense here, all this nonsense and all the picking titles he got, it's not worth a fig. And it's like one Stoker said when in his ship there, that in the first ship that he got torpedoed, when he said, "Man, get the muskets right." Oh dear. He managed to get up, this poor stoker, out of the boiler room, and he comes to the surface and he's covered in oil, and right next to him is Mountbatten in the water, and he says the filth always comes to the top, doesn't it? And he's looking at Mountbatten, and Mountbatten is so stupid that he doesn't realise that the stoker is telling him that he is the filth that's come to the top. Mountbatten is taking it that the stoker is talking about himself. And of course, afterwards, Mountbatten, being so stupid, would say in talks about this incident, not realising that it was directed at him. And people would doff their caps to this idiot, complete idiot. We'll do for third and last one on this.